Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are so excited to be going beyond beliefs today. Yes, Debbie Unterman joining us here live. She's a master alchemist and so much more. The name of her company is Go Beyond Beliefs. That's gobeyondbeliefs.com. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to be here with you, Jill.
Well, nice to have you. Please introduce yourself to our listeners. Thank you.
Okay. I am Debbie Unterman. I have been doing a form of therapy called alchemy or alchemical hypnotherapy. So I call myself a master alchemist.
Okay.
Because it is a different form of hypnotherapy. It really has so little in common with it. And I've been doing it since 1983, which makes this my 40th year.
Wow.
So I'm a little beyond when people say I do hypnotherapy. I train people. I've written a book. It's going to look backwards. It's called Talking to Myself.
Wow.
Learning to love the voices in your head.
Wow.
It is available on let's say on Amazon. Easier than me sending it.
Congratulations. Amazing work. Now, first of all, just to start off exactly, what is an alchemist? Break it down for us specifically, if you don't mind.
Okay. Just like the ancient alchemists were creating gold out of base metals, we are creating the gold of self-realization out of the base dross of everything that's going on in our bodies and minds and spirits. And speaking of spirit, it is a very spiritual form of therapy where we want to connect you as the go-between of your inner child and spirit. So there's the three of you, the kind of inner divinity or trinity going on when you just get into that flow.
Wow. Wow. And by the way, you also have been training people for years as well, correct?
Yes. I'm more stopping that right now and going with individual clients.
Great. So
more.
what can you
speaking because I can get a bigger audience here to get people interested in the work, and then I can work with them myself. I also invent games.
What type of games? Tell me.
So one of them, the one that I first invented, the way that my guides told me it was called was balls.
I love it. Yes.
It came out right around the time Sex in the City and women were allowed to talk about having balls, but people still didn't like it so much when I used that name, so they begged me to change it. So I actually invented a shorter version of it that I call Clarity. And so it's the game of clarity. It gets you clear. You move through a board that you go through almost your whole life. You find things out about yourself you didn't know. Play is a very safe way back to the healthy brain and body because you're out of any kind of resistance while you're playing. And then a person named Colin Tipping, who played my game, wanted me to invent one for his. He is the father of radical forgiveness. So I invented one called Satori, the game of radical forgiveness.
Wow, you are a busy woman. My goodness, you do so much. Congratulations.
I like to do it in a fun way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so much in your notes. I don't know. You want to start talking about love, or where did you want to start? You tell me.
Well, today I really would like to be able to help people who have gone through our ritual of New Year's Eve and starting over with what most people, I think there's a statistic of what is it, like half of people or something create a New Year's resolution.
I think it's 1/3, right? That
is
1/3 stick to it, 70% fail. I think it's like, yeah.
How many create them and then how many work? So I thought now that we're about 12 days in.
Yeah.
So almost to that 2-week mark where a lot of those resolutions have kind of, tanked. I thought I would help people to get in touch with what part of them wanted to make the resolution, like their inner bodybuilder, let's say, something like that. I'm going to get to the gym and then the part of them that is fizzling out, maybe just that one that says, what the hell? I haven't been able to do it in the past. I won't be able to do it now. And so I want to see where people are in their resolve, right? The resolutions involve resolve.
Yeah.
So I want to help people. Maybe they just made one that was not right for them. Too much. And then they end up putting themselves down as a failure.
Oh my God.
So let's see if we have anybody out there that wants a little help. I might be able to make you feel better about yourself. I don't want you to feel like, oh, okay, I'll wait till next year. Maybe we can chunk it down.
Yeah, well, let's do that. Let's open up the phone lines, guys. If anyone has any questions out there, please give us a call. 631-317-1291. That's 631-317-1291. So the specific question is what? What do you want them to ask you about? Their New Year's resolutions or?
Yes, how they're doing with them. How is their resolve about the resolution?
Okay, yeah. Let's see what your New Year's resolution are, how it's going, and give me some examples of people that you're working with. And usually, what happens with New Year's resolutions?
Well, I don't work with people usually that just start on the first of the year and come to me because they want to start something new. So I work with anybody who wants to make some kind of change in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm working with a man who wants confidence. And one of the things I noticed after working with him for a long time is his tendency, almost like a tick, when I'll ask him something that he answers, I don't know. And then he'll go on to kind of rationalize what he wants to disown about that question, or it allows him to kind of not know. And so how can you be confident and not know at the same time? Mm-hmm. So I had to bring that to his attention, and he was able to admit that it is kind of a cop-out, that he almost is conscious of it. But one of the things that I've taught him is become conscious, because the first way, the most important thing to breaking a habit, just like smoking, is to know when you pick up a cigarette to smoke, what is going on, or to eat that cookie or whatever. So do we have anybody calling yet? I don't want to interrupt if we have somebody waiting.
Mm-hmm. All right. No one's calling in yet.
No one yet. Okay.
No, 631-317-1291. I will hear the phone ring when they call.
Okay.
Let me ask you, it's normal for us to go on this whole path of rejuvenation, and it's like the new year and we want to lose weight. We want to stop smoking. Is there any tips you can give us to trying to stick to your New Year's resolution?
I would definitely say, listen to what the conversation is you have going on in your head about it. Where are you fudging? Mm-hmm. Where are you, fooling yourself? Or hearing that first voice when you wake up say, okay, today's the day, we're going to the gym. And then that second voice comes in and goes, but it's raining. But we wanted to get there at 10 and there's no way we're going to make it by then, or, and start noticing who is in there talking to you. What is that part of you that is not believing what you set up for yourself? And when else have you done the same thing? And what have people told you? Do you hear someone's voice in your head telling you, you won't be able to do it. You don't stick to anything you started. You never did. You never will. You're just a failure. These voices that we have are one of the biggest detriments to us getting where we want in life. But we can play with them. So I like people. That's why the subtitle of my book is Learning to Love the Voices in Your Head. Because a lot of schools of thought will just say, let's kick that, this is one of my pet peeves, that weak victim out of your life. Get out of victim consciousness. Well, the fact is, if we have been victimized, then we need to heal. And there's a reason why, if you trace back, something has happened that created that victim. But then what's going to be the opposite? We always have a pull, is the bully. That other part of us. Someone was our original bully, and that person might still be in our head telling us, you can't do it. You can't do anything.
Those naysayers. Yep.
And that bully could be our dad, a teacher, a coach.
Yeah. A lot of times
the fact that we didn't get picked for the volleyball team, the recess, the playground, that we were always picked last, and therefore we can't do it. We have to go back and prove it to ourselves and to them that we can.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree. And let's remind everyone how we can reach you. Could you share all forms of contact, phone number, website, social media pages, anything you think is important, huh?
Well, right now you can find my book on Amazon, so you can go there by Debbie Unterman, or by talking to myself, or both. If you look under authors or under book titles, and you can get to my page, my website, by the same, either debbieunterman.com or talkingtomyself.com, or there's lots of different URLs. You can reach me. I actually use a home phone, so you can call me up and I will probably answer. 770-434-7488. That's 770-434-7488. I'm in Atlanta. So if anyone is here, I can see you in person. But if anyone is not here, I even have some clients who are in Atlanta that I actually see over FaceTime or Skype or Zoom. These days, the screen has become the way to connect with people. And I've been doing that since about 2015.
Beautiful. Well, also, I want to know a little bit more about yourself. Tell me, you said you always had this knack. People always came to you and just told you things, right? You're one of those people that people just feel comfortable talking to. And tell me a little about where you grew up, how you got into this field, and what made you this love of helping people this way. Could you share that?
I was born in Boston. My parents were New Yorkers. So my father got sent back from the field to the office, and we moved to Long Island.
Where in Long Island? I'm from Long Island.
Port Washington, Nassau County.
Oh, I'm out in Suffolk County in Holtsville, but still, of course. Oh, fellow Long Islander. I didn't know this. Atlanta. Yes. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. So I did Boston for about 13 years. New York, I went to SUNY Brockport, went to school up in all that snow around Buffalo, where everybody, and I did not want any more snow, shoveling in Framingham, Massachusetts, Port Washington, Brockport, that was enough. So I got out of there, moved to California, spent a little bit of time in the typical cities, San Francisco and LA, but I also went up to the Redwoods, spent 9 years up in the Redwoods. And while I was there, all of a sudden, this class started. Unbelievable. I am living like a hippie. I started by living in a tent. Then, I was able to get an apartment, and up at the top of the mountain was a school called Hartwood College of the Healing Arts. And along comes this teacher that's going to start teaching alchemical hypnotherapy. Meanwhile, one time when I was back visiting New York, I had a dream. I was not doing anything. I had, gotten an interpersonal communications degree at Brockport, knew that I knew how to talk to people, and that's what I wanted to do in my life. Didn't know what else I wanted to do. And so this guy I didn't even know he was there, because I had this dream that a friend of mine back in California says to me in my dream. I mean, I can really see it clear as day, where we were standing in a hallway, and she comes up to me, she goes, "Debbie, that money I owe you, I invested it and you're rich." So, a dream like that, you gotta go see what that's all about. And this was a 7-week vacation I was on.
Oh my
So I had the dream in the middle of the vacation, but when I got back, I went right to her place. And I'm talking, this is Humboldt County where people have 40-acre parcels up, dirt roads. So I'm driving up the dirt road to her house and going through her horse paddock and, looking for her. She's not there. I leave a note on my way back down the hill. She's coming up. And I say, Diane, I had this dream about you. I got to find out what it's about. She goes, from a workshop with this man. And she says, I'm going to buy you your first session. And that first session was literally exactly the $45 she owed me that in my dream.
We have a caller coming in. Oh my goodness. Oh, perfect timing. We have a caller coming in. Okay. Debbie, live on the line. Hi, what is your name?
How's it going? My name's Rick.
Hey, Rick, you are live on the line. Rick. To let you know, with Debbie Unterman, we're talking New Year's resolutions. A lot of us making them. Is there something in particular you are trying to working on? Because she's here to help.
Yeah. So for sure, that's why I called it. Honestly, I've been a smoker for about 6 years now, and I've really been trying to quit. And I go back and forth between quitting and whatnot. And I'm really trying to stick to it this year for my New Year's resolution. And I was wondering if she had any tips or advice.
I do. Because
she's got lots. Get your notepad ready.
The weird part is, when people know you're a hypnotherapist, you think they're going to want to quit smoking. You think you're going to have a whole, practice that's made up of that. And my grandmother and both grandfathers died of smoking related diseases. So I really wanted to help people and I wasn't getting clients. So I happen to be an expert more in because I would teach it to all my classes every year and I would get a few clients, have good successes, but it obviously wasn't what I was supposed to do. But the first thing to do, and I hope you've done very well. How are you doing these first 12 days?
I haven't smoked once. I've been good so far, right? Now is the hard time. The first couple of days, okay for me. It's usually after a couple of weeks, and then friends or family are smoking around me, and it gets to me.
Exactly. You're right. But let me tell you that in those first 4 days, you have no idea what your physiology is going through already. It's starting to heal. You've probably been coughing up a lot of stuff. Your lungs want to heal. They're ready to be there working for you. But your brain, of course, is the thing that you're working at cross purposes with, because it's telling you, I want one, give me one, So you do need some resolve. But after those first 4 days, you have lost a lot of the physical addiction. We don't even consider somebody a non-smoker or that they have quit when we do an intake if they haven't quit for at least 2 weeks. So you're right. You're in that early stage and please keep going. So I hope you've done the things that I tell people to do right away, which is clean your windshields if you normally smoke in the car, empty your ashtray in the car and at home, where if you have a smoking spot, these days a lot of people don't smoke at home, but they have like one little spot by their garage or their front porch. Do everything to avoid that spot and really clean it up. Move every lighter that you see, matches, anything that would remind you. Move it away, because that will bring the brain's attention to it when it wasn't even thinking of it. So do as much for yourself as you can to avoid temptation. Stay away from other people who do smoke. There's also a component a lot of people don't know about, and that is the acidity alkalinity part of it. And that is why so many people have to have a cigarette after drinking coffee, have to have a cigarette after drinking alcohol, because cigarettes are alkaline. So it's literally now a biological pull that you want to balance it. So if that is something that happens to you, stay away from coffee, stay away from drinking, those things that will make you really want one. So tell me, what else? What are your triggers?
Usually it's drinking. You hit the nail on the head there. And usually when I drink, if I go out with friends, that's usually what the culprit is. And then all of a sudden I'm smoking again. I had a rough night, and then I smoked another cigarette, and the next day I just get another pack.
Exactly. And that is one of the things that, in fact, that client I was talking about that has the confidence issue, he's pretty good about smoking. He can have one, but that is so unusual. And I say it is playing with danger. I'm begging him not to do that. But with him, it's emotions. He got really angry when he was at the airport and he bummed a cigarette. Usually that will be the thing that will get your brain hooked again. And it will take all that resolve to quit again. And you just don't want to do that. So bars in New York. Are you in New York?
Are you in New York?
I'm in Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan. Do they allow you to smoke in the bars?
I usually don't. I don't like to. I'm like more of a secretive smoker. I don't like to smoke a lot in front of people. I don't like to smell like it too much. It's more of just been like a thing out before work or like after work and then before bed.
Okay.
Too bad with it, but
the sneaky smoking is really hard. I have one of my student, clients and now friends is a sneaky smoker. Oh my God, because you're even fooling yourself.
Yeah.
So that is really hard to stop, because it's a sabotage. You're doing that little sneaking around thing. So I would say, other than staying away from the alcohol, which is going to lower your resistance, you're going to have friends who are smoking, you're going to have to walk through probably some smoking sections of the bar, whether they allow it inside or out. Try, if you can, to stay away from those situations. I know it's football season, it's going to be hard, but you are working at cross purposes to yourself. And then you need a big why. So what's your big why for quitting?
Well, honestly, recently I met a new girl, and we've been getting really serious. And she really does not like it, and I know she doesn't. That's why I've been trying to quit. I promised her I was going to quit this year for my New Year's resolution, and I really care about her. I know she really doesn't like it, and she doesn't want me to be sick when I grow up. So,
that's sweet of you. But I also have to say, you have to really want it, right? Isn't that part of it, Debbie? Yeah,
it is both. But that's a good inspiration. Big why. Yeah. So that part of you inside that is your lover romantic. So this is now who, let's say you're a sneaky smoker, and I don't know. I like to make names out of parts. So let's say maybe we could call him a Mr. Sneaky. We could call him maybe a Mr. Independent. I can do anything I want and nobody can stop me because they don't even know I'm doing it. And I'm going to do it because I'm a man and I'm autonomous and nobody's going to tell me what to do. So you have this little battle inside you with that. And you should really give him a good pet name that fits to him, like a Mr. Sneaky or a Mr. Independent or whatever it would be, Macho Man, something about him. And then that other part of you that I would call your lover romantic, that part that wants a mate, that's serious, that wants to not be so alone and independent, but wants to be with someone, and let the two of them dialogue in your head. And we need that lover romantic part, that Romeo, maybe you call him, to win. We need him to always come out anytime that little sneaky smoker wants to go behind the shed or whatever, and then take the mouthwash and the spray, the cologne, and get rid of the smell. We have to, let Romeo know, I know what you're doing and you're going to lose her. And I don't want you to be the reason that I lose her. Okay. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Gosh.
Good. You're welcome.
Thank
and good luck.
so much for joining us and for being here. And take a listen to how you can reach out to her directly. Thank you again for the call, Debbie. Remind our listeners how we can reach you, please.
Even if, and I'm going a little blank. Was it Rick? The name? What was that? Was that Rick?
I think it was, yeah. Rick.
Okay. Even if Rick wants to continue the conversation, I am willing to give anybody a 15 or 20-minute free consultation.
Beautiful.
So 770-434-7488. I also have an email, Just plain Dunterman at AOL is an easy way to get to me, but it gets so inundated that it's a good idea to also call me and let me know there's an email there in case I miss it.
Got it. And in closing, we still got 2 minutes left. What else do you want to leave with your listeners today?
Well, it's never too late to make a resolution. Don't let missing out on something just because you get, weak or don't do it be the reason not to ever do it. Every day is a new day. It doesn't have to be just New Year's Day. Don't wait another year before you resolve to be a better person, and really get in touch with what those voices in your head are saying to you and start fighting back against the ones that are trying to work at cross purposes to your better life.
Beautifully said. I love it. Thank you so much. And are we connecting again next week, Debbie?
I think I'm going to be back with Steve, but I'm glad to be able to talk to your people here in Studio One. And
me too. So exciting. I love Steve. I know Steve for like 20 years. He's a great guy.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us here today in our space and for being so welcoming. And to our caller, thank you. And to our listeners, we appreciate you. And looking forward to the next time we connect, Debbie. You have a fantastic
I tell you that
day, okay?
I am on with him at 3:30 on Thursdays on Studio 5.
Beautiful. Again, 3:30 on Thursdays with Steve, and this is in Studio 5.
Yes.
Got it. Debbie Unterman, thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. And again, to all of our listeners as well, we appreciate you. Please stay tuned. More of the show's coming right up after the break.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.